Don in London, hello. It's April the 8th, 2013. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol. My behaviour, equally addictive, around people, places and things. Taking things to extremes. Trying to fill a gap inside, which was quite difficult because I didn't know what the gap was. It just turned out to be something very simple, which everybody needs. And it's love. Enough love to make life work. Enough love to make life work, or to live life and it's working. Maybe that's a better way. Making life work suggests I've got some sort of control over love. Well, I don't. Either we love what we're doing or we don't. We love the people we're with or we don't. We love the place we're in or we don't. And that's where the arguments happen in our own heads, between our feelings and thinking. So I'm sober today, and I'm very grateful because I needed help to find my path in life. I lost the plot. From all the trappings of success and gathering wealth and property, I never felt happy, not properly, because love was missing in me. I didn't know how to love. I didn't know how to be loved back in the end, and I just didn't know how to live in the end, because I overthunk it. I overthunk or overthought everything, and lived at extremes, played hard, worked hard, all of that. It was the culture. It was the culture of the time, the zeitgeist, spirit of the age. Work hard, play hard, die early, I suppose, or die young. Rebel without a cause, all those influences in my past. And also fear of failure. So what did I do? I used to take the edge off with a drink, and could be joyful and convivial. If life was joyful and convivial, and if it was horrible, I drank more, so I could have oblivion and turn myself off by self-medication. That became self-harm and then addiction. Can happen to anyone. It's not a particular disease which picks on people. Either you get it or you don't. But if you've got it, why not do something about it? And in the end, reluctantly, I did ask for help. And then I wasn't reluctant to ask for help because people seemed to know what I was talking about. Well, you can't drink, can't stop drinking. Come see us, get you dry. And this is professionals, got me dry. So I was a dry drunk, an alcoholic, with no recovery and no idea how to start life again, other than white knuckle it and try be something. I didn't have a clue how to be something. So when the professionals said, why not go to a fellowship which will help you on a daily basis, provide you with support, and they're good people. We've met them, but go see for yourself. And in the end, I went to this fellowship called AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and I am an absolute fan of fellowship, a place where I learned how to live life anew, learn how to love people, learn how to be loved back, and live sort of normally, whatever normal is. I don't know these days. Normal is whatever is right for you. So normal for me is stay sober, see what happens, enjoy the day as best one can, and go with the flow of life and what we can do and what we can't do. So why is AA important to me? Well, it is the backbone of my recovery, and I share about recovery on my videos because I was asked. So my videos are not a recommendation from the Fellowship of AA. The Fellowship of AA does not endorse my videos, quite rightly, because I don't speak for the Fellowship. And if you're in the Fellowship, you know I cannot speak for you. You speak for yourself where you choose. And I was asked and chose to do this. So I'm not being defiant about this. We can all do what we can do when we're trying to help other people. So if this helps you with the idea that sober is possible, my job is done. That's it. So anything else I have to say is just me sharing my daily reflections, and also sharing the AA preamble, which will give you an understanding of what AA is when you go to it. What you see is what you get on a daily basis. It cannot fix you, it can help you. Make decisions and free choices one day at a time. So what you see is what you get. It's not promotion, it's what you see is what you get. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and sometimes it's ugly. But we learn more from ugly and bad bits probably, and what people are going through when it's like that, and when they share about it. You may identify with what they're doing to try and help themselves, and what other people are doing to try and help them. So what is AA? It's on this little card here, and this is what it says. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship. It's not an organisation. It's more of a society of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. So hello, I'm Don, and I am an alcoholic in recovery today. And then you'll find that a multitude of people are doing this in meetings and groups all over the place. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking, or it might be a desire to find out what drinking is doing to you, or a desire to stop, because some people do get there of their own volition. There are no dues or fees for AA membership, so anybody can come along with a desire to stop drinking, and at the same time we are self-supporting through our own contributions, so we have enough money to scratch by, and we never keep any reserve above something prudent to pay rent, tea, coffee and biscuits, and some literature, and one or two add-ons as well. Now, this is the important bit. This is what AA does not do. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. At the same time, everybody in the fellowship is in something or other, so you can be in a sect, a denomination, a political party, an organisation or institution. You can engage in controversy, you can endorse or oppose causes, because you get your freedom back, and that's what you want. You want to be able to do these things, freedom to live your life as you choose, naturally and with your own inclinations. So AA is simply about sober, and our primary purpose, as it says here, is to stay sober and to help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And what I've found over the years, if you're staying in one locality, you'll make friends. Or if you're not too sure and you want to keep your anonymity, you may step out of your locality and go somewhere else, because you prefer to do your recovery anonymously. And that's why it works. Anonymous is sacrosanct. So within the fellowship, people are entitled to their privacy. It's a bit like going to a doctor or a counsellor or a psychiatrist. We hope that people will maintain that anonymity for you. My mum told everybody I was an alcoholic in the area, and she used to live in the area where I live now. So all my friends all around here, they all knew I had a problem with drink. So there was no hiding the fact, and I went to AA, pushed there first, and then voluntarily went, because I had next door neighbours, people I knew in the vicinity from different places, and they said welcome, and I thought, oh, this is very strange, and I ran away for a bit because I never knew they were sober. They used to go to clubs, societies, and be involved in what was going on in the community, but I never knew they were in it. And then suddenly there I was, being invited to try it out, and it works, and it has worked for me. So it's not just about being dry, it's about a new life, from an old life of fear, pride and ego, to a new life where we have courage to change, faith in doing the next right thing, and the confidence to keep on going. And if we don't know what to do, we can ask for help. That's what fellowship has done for me. And the fellowship has 12 steps which help us be open, honest and willing to change and keep on track, and hopefully life works one day at a time. Simple but difficult, because we have feelings and thinking going on in our heads. We have natural desires, and we have all these senses, sensory stuff going on, our 5 senses, information coming in, which impacts deeply on our emotional mood. And if we don't know what our mood is, our thinking can be really out there somewhere. Anyway, these are my thoughts for today. And it's related to step 4, the fearless moral inventory, which we do, the old life full of pride, ego and fear, and where all the resentments came up, why we felt horrible, and these so-called deficits or defects of character, all around resentments, not being good enough, or feeling that we know better than other people. We need to change those outlooks to a new life. So, in the reading, or if you read the 12 and 12, 12 steps and 12 traditions, step 4, the first couple of sentences, creation gave us instincts for a purpose. Without them, we wouldn't be complete human beings. Those are the first sentences in step 4 of the 12 and 12. Natural instincts hardwired into our consciousness, our brain. We have 5 senses hardwired to provide instant information. Without these hardwired instincts, we would not be human beings. And for whatever reason, when our instincts are out of balance, our desires for something or someone probably imbalanced because they do not fit society's codes and morals. So we were driven to play hard and work hard often, which meant that the codes and morals were somewhat trampled on by most people. The fearless moral inventory highlights where we may have been out of step with common codes of behaviour which have been established for decades and generations. So that's what we're trying to deal with, the old life and then a new life, which leads into step 6 and 7. But let's not go too far ahead. My weekend. On Saturday, a friend suggested I might be going out with my camera to take photos, and they were right. I felt like getting out. I absolutely love taking photographs of people, places and things, because I love to see the truth of now. I really do. I love it. The season is changing and the mood of people is changing. The way places look in spring, and all sorts of things come to life at this time of year. I feel it and have a desire to be out there. Saturday, still cold, and the mood outside in the world seemed a bit depressed. It was around midday to 1 o'clock. And I've been waiting for the magnolias for 2 weeks. Magnolia flowers normally flower at the beginning of March, and they're just about to come out today or tomorrow. So it was not worth it. It was not worth it trying to get... I don't want to take too many depressing photos of people. So Saturday was a bit of a washout. And then out on Sunday, sunshine and warmth. I did feel it. Warming people. Warming up places and things are happening. My natural feelings to be in the world and observing and taking part. And seeing the truth of now. I love it. You know, people were uplifted yesterday. I feel attracted to the warmth of the world, the warmth of people, places and things coming alive at last after a long winter. I am of nature and I love people. Yes, there was a glamorous girl posing for a film crew just at the beginning of Leicester Square. I missed the opportunity to take photos. I just thought it might be too much. And then moving on, I went down the Charing Cross Road to where St Martin's in the Fields looks over Trafalgar Square. And the drunken man shouting on the steps of St Martin's in the Fields about the world coming to an end. I see it and feel it in the moment of now. So from glamorous beauty to the absolute depression caused by drunkenness. And a man of the road, as they used to call them. I don't know what we call them these days. I was homeless, and not for as long as this person obviously has, because you could see the gnarled look on their face, and they were drunk. And they were just shouting. no chance of listening. And I went past and I didn't take a photo. I don't know why. I don't know. I just felt I was actually knackered actually by that stage. If I were to think about what is wrong right now in my flat, this is about step 4 as well. So Saturday I could see the darkness in people. Sunday I could see the lightness in many people and the darkness in the drunken man shouting on the steps of St. Martin in the Fields, where a lot of angry drunken people hang out during the day. But if I look at basics in my flat, right now the washing facilities need repairing, the drainage pipes are blocked, and in another life I would pick up the phone and call Pimlico plumbers, who I know carry every gadget on their van, who would sort it out in a couple of hours. It's only been 3 weeks since the washing facilities broke down, which has caused me some washing difficulties, but I've managed. And the drains are backing up to the kitchen, made life complicated over the weekend. I put down 4 litres of Domestos, which is a hard, bleachy grime beater. I seem to have made some progress on it. If I were to raise expectations about what is possible for my landlord to do, and felt an entitlement to special treatment for some reason, over and above other people in the queue, my resentments could quickly pull me down into darkness and obscurity. I become Don the Obscure, hiding away and rattling and raving at the unfairness of my plumbing system, not being fixed in the way I used to fix everything with a wad of cash. That's what I used to do. In my pocket I used to have a wad of cash, because I worked hard and had a wad of cash. Without the wad of cash in my pocket today, and with a smile on my face, I do revel at being able to get out yesterday and take photos on my rambling on the electric bike, because my feet don't work too well these days, which they're in terrible pain this morning. And if I were to feel downtrodden, because I can't tread too far, and because of nerve damage in all my extremities, except the one down below, which seems to be okay, thank goodness, I could be trudging the road and the journey with a depression the size of the universe. Step 4 is important. My natural desires are good, but the ravages of time mean that some things no longer possible and cannot be done as they used to be done. The fearless moral inventory, and then step 5, 6 and 7. Change my outlook from old life of fear, pride and ego to a new life of courage to change, faith in doing the next right thing, and confidence to be me as I am just for today. And if I ever do get into a relationship again, thank God for little blue pills. Yeah, and then nature takes over. It's weird, I don't know why it is. Nature takes over, natural things come back. In some areas of life anyway, but nerve damage you can't repair. It's just life. So a lot of acceptance here, and I'm getting on a bit, so I'm very gratified that I'm just getting on a bit. That's good. Step 4, being the pile of old life, the extremes beyond natural desires for love, inclusion, career, you name it. It was always about being with the right people in the right places with the right things, working to extremes and playing to extremes, and eventually the old life becomes more and more superficial, because we just cannot maintain unnatural extremes to fill the gap of something we crave more than anything, that being love and affection, because that's what's at the base of everything, love. Of course, if we had understood what was missing, we might think we would have behaved differently. If our life experiences had been different, then maybe, if we had not tried to be the poster boy or poster girl for the zeitgeist, the spirit of the age, we would not have tried so hard and failed so miserably to understand the essence of living. The younger people get The younger the people who get to AA, the better, in my opinion, because you've still got your vigour, which you can plough into each day. We identify the truth, the recollections and the resentments, and we let them go. There is no rush to fill the enormous gap when we stop our addiction. There is no fix in the new life. There is simply room to grow a new life and find what is right. By being open, honest and willing to change, we all find our freedom of choice on the journey of life, and whatever endeavour we choose today. I hadn't mentioned self-help books for a long time. And why? I wanted to write one when I first got to AA. Yeah, I haven't mentioned self-help books for a long time because I thought I wanted to write one, and it would be inspirational for other people. And I wanted to rewrite the big book of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. I wanted to rewrite the 12 and 12, the 12 steps and 12 traditions. And I wanted to make an impression. I put a question mark there. This was in the first 90 days of my recovery, as I devoured as much literature as I could, and it got me thinking. I thought a lot. Think. And I was missing the point. The emotional and spiritual journey which was being opened. This was in the first 90 days of my recovery, as I devoured as much literature as I could. I saw spelling mistakes, and as well as that, I felt there were mistakes in the writing as well. And then I realised every story and every sentence was written in the raw. And my attempt to edit and impose my identity on it was pride and ego rising to the fore. So my pride and ego, I'm stepping back into my old counselling days, rewriting the book of AA, rewriting the literature in my head. Why on earth was I doing that? An attachment to the old life, which had nearly killed me. And of course, you know, we want to be what we wanted. We think we ought to be back where we were before. That's what I was thinking. I wanted to be restored to the old Don the Obscure. Not anymore. Because I wasn't doing what was right for me in the first place. Just because I was good at something and had an intuitive brain which could see forwards a few steps, I could help people transform their lives. And yet my life, I used to put a bottle of alcohol between me and reality to shut out all the thoughts circulating, my needs at extremes, because I just wanted desperately to feel happy and found no happiness. So it's different today. People kept saying progress not perfect, and people kept saying just give it time, and people kept saying listen to the similarities and look for the similarities, because we are all different. And I valued the diversity. This is one thing that really happens if we are really open to the similarities that we all have. The diversity is profoundly helpful. My story is no more glorious or inglorious than any other, so what made me think I ought to rewrite it all? These days I do believe that we write our own book of self-help. We may not write it all down, or write any of it down at all, and yet we share equally and with equality one day at a time in fellowship. By all means write your self-help book, because it will help you, and in doing so you are sharing experience, strength and hope, and there may be similarities which make all the difference to one person in the world. Usually it is you. All around us the world is thinking hard about what next to do, aiming for the stars, being driven to extremes. And it used to be well, it still is, a rat race, isn't it? We think about living the dream. Fantasy and endeavour are good, and yet in our emotional and spiritual fellowship, we are always getting back to basics and standing on our own 2 feet. Emotional and spiritual, living in the moment of now, and all 5 senses working normally. We feel life as it is, and either we can cope with this reality, or maybe we need some help with this reality. Humility to ask depends on all the 12 steps, because without humility progress is extremely difficult. The big world opens if we are willing to ask for help and see what opportunities they may be, rather than using just our own resources, which led to calamity in the past, covering up because of fear, ego and pride. Feelings in the moment of now from all our senses, the 5 senses, and even people say about a 6th sense, which is intuition at the extreme, predictability. Hardwired to help us with when we are able to identify the very basics of halt. If we are hungry, angry, lonely or tired, these are feelings. With courage to change, faith in doing the next right thing, and growing confidence to live life as nature intended, with all our senses working in the moment of now, we are making progress, hopefully. And on top of all of that, we have our intellect and thinking capacities, working away trying to control what nature intended. Just for a day. Indeed, feeling and thinking can be at odds on any given day. So what I'm saying to you is that we have natural instincts which are based on feelings, a feeling and a desire for love, natural. And when I go photograph the world of London, I'm seeing the truth of how people are. I'm not asking them to pose, I'm just out there, and I see nature, and I see statues which weren't there before in Leicester Square. Not Leicester Square, Soho Square. So we need to know, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. When I say to myself in the morning, how am I feeling? It's really important to me, because not only is it to do with basic chemical balance, mine is thrown out by type 1 diabetes as well, with a whole raft of other things. And I was just reading something this morning, because the debate between what comes first, feeling or thinking, well, it's not worth debating, because if you've got some sort of understanding of your natural state of mind, emotionally and spiritually, thinking is usually in accord with that and helps us channel ourselves into balance. If we are feeling extremes, anxiety and urgency, usually we have left something unfinished, or we simply want to move on. And in the first 90 days of recovery, I used to go to a meeting called After Eights, and it was at 8 in the evening, so I thought that was what it was. But then when I got there, After Eights referred to the people who spoke first, what people call doing a chair, and they all had to be over 8 to do it. They shared their experience, strength and hope of being 8 years sober and what life was like in later sobriety. I couldn't even think of being 8 years sober back then, and I suspect I was envious. How did they get to 8 years? For goodness sake, still doing the 1990. You think to yourself, how did they do it? There must be a secret part of AA where you can walk through the door and there's a bar at the end and it's okay to drink again, surely. The fantasy of the old life. Of course there isn't a secret part of AA. What you see is what you get on a daily basis, and sometimes it's rough and ready, and you think, oh Christ, why am I in this meeting? Or oh God, why am I in this meeting? And the answer is, the worse it is, the better it is, because it challenges our perceptions of what is right about AA. It's just what you see today. It can't be any better, can it? What you see is what you get. So there is no way to fix it. You can't fix AA because it's full of humans doing what humans do, and that's why it's a fellowship, not an organisation. and it doesn't have a mission statement which says, we will fix you, because we can't. Or no single human force can, that's for sure. And that's why fellowship works, because we add to the many. So there we are. It was an impossible thing to come from 1 day sober to people being over 8 years sober. And then in some cases, 20, 30, 40 and 50 years sober. And there's a lot of people in America where AA, the fellowship, started. I don't know, tens of thousands are over 50 years sober. Who would have thought it? Out of fellowship. You know, there's no fix, but yet people are still sober. Because a drink won't fix reality. All it will do is obscure the truth of now. So, and when people share their experience, their wisdom of the years, it is really profound about the basics to keep fellowship working 1 day at a time. A fellowship of love just for today and every day. There is no rush to an ending. And even when we hit milestones in life, they just sort of feel right-sized, hopefully. And then another milestone happens today. Well, I haven't got any milestones today other than I feel okay. What more can I say? Nothing really. Not for today anyway. I'm grateful to be alive. You know, there's a bit of sunshine coming through now. And it's only 9:30 in the morning. It was grey earlier. I was up since 3. But that's just me, my peculiar sleeping habits. So I have great gratitude just to be in the world. Just to have been able to get out yesterday. And now I'm suffering the consequences. So it might be some more days before I get out again. All good. I don't mind. The serenity prayer, can do, can't do, wisdom to know the difference, is always with me. So, no matter what your beliefs are, my beliefs are truth, love and wisdom in the moment of now. Not my truth. Learning the universal truth, love and wisdom of now, from everyone. So to God or in good conscience, or truth, love and wisdom of now, whatever rocks your boat, the can do, cannot do, wisdom to know the difference, meditation. God grants me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. Just for 1 day.